like to welcome everybody to the May 2nd, 2024 meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. If I could have everybody rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, liberty, and justice for all. Real quick, has anybody had a chance to review the minutes for January, December, and April?
I read some of them.
Chris, you did?
This one. Sure.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes of January 2023, December, April 2024.
I second.
We got a second, roll call vote. Al votes aye.
Aye.
Chris got an aye.
Aye.
Maria's got an aye. Linda has an
I
aye.
had an eye.
All right, that passes. All right, moving on the agenda. It's kind of a little different this month because we have two open cases from last month. So let me just read into the minutes the agenda for the public hearing today. Smith Accessory Building, area variance, continuation, 45 Baker Road, grid number 665800870966, zone R90. The applicant was seeking an area variance for an existing accessory structure. Code 15526A, A and C of the town code requires that accessory structures shall be located no closer to the street than the front of the principal structure. As the existing accessory structure is currently located in front of the principal structure, the applicant is seeking variance relief from this requirement. On April 9th, 2024, which was after the ZBA's meeting, the zoning administrator had made a determination that the accessory structure was pre-existing non-conforming and didn't need an application for a variance. The second on the agenda tonight will be the Chateau expansion, area variance continuation, 426 Old Route 55, grid number 685800128494, zone R135. The applicant is seeking an area variance for existing garage plus expansion. 15526D1 of the town code requires that the accessory structure shall not exceed 25% of the principal structure in bulk. The principal structure is 960 square feet. The existing structure is 240 square feet, 25% of the principal, and the applicant is proposing 855 square feet or 89% of the principal, requiring a variance of 615 square feet. The applicant is seeking an area variance for garage expansion. 155 attachment 2 of the town code requires a minimum side yard setback of 40 feet. The applicant has proposed 81 and requesting a variance for the remaining 31.9 feet. On April 9th, 2024, a determination was made by the zoning administrator that the garage is a legal non-conforming structure on a non-conforming lot and shall not be enlarged in accordance with 15558 F2. So moving on, the applicant is now seeking an area attachment 2 of the town code requires a 100-foot front setback. The applicant has a proposed 43.7 feet and is requesting a variance for the remaining 56.3 feet. 155 attachment 2 of the town code requires 40-foot side yard setback. The applicant has proposed 26.9 feet and is requesting a variance for the remaining 13.1 feet. That being read into the meeting, let's take care of the Smith accessory building. Being that meeting, that last month's meeting, that is still left open on the agenda. I make a motion that we accept the determination by the zoning administrator, and there is no application no longer required for relief from the ZBA. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Linda,
Aye.
Maria,
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Chris.
All right, I make a motion to close that part of the hearing on the Baker Road application. Roll call vote. Yep, that's the second. Now we need a roll call vote.
Linda,
Thumbs up.
Maria,
Aye.
Chris.
All right. Moving on to the Charteau expansion for Old Route 55. I can see that Mr. Gillespie and Mr. Charteau are here. So if I could have one of you come to the mic and we'll address from where we were at last month and where we're going for this month, that'd be great.
Good evening.
How you doing?
So I think, from what I understand, is that after the meeting last month, the zoning administrator was again petitioned.
That's all right.
I think it's the fans that...
There you go. The zoning administrator was petitioned specific to her determination for this particular parcel in terms of the setbacks and the fact that it's in a particular zone where there's a provision within the code that for anything within this zone that is non-conforming, it cannot be extended or expanded. So she then came back with another determination recognizing that portion of the code and effectively indicated that as it relates to the garage, nothing can be done relative to expanding that garage.
Okay.
Is that,
That's what, yeah, that's what she had relayed to us.
saying that, we're also proposing a front porch on the existing home, which, my understanding, the board may be in a position to allow for that variance to occur. And I will say that I don't want to take anything away from my client, which he may be expected tonight to get in terms of the variance, but I'm going to tell you, I just don't get it, because what we're doing effectively is we're expanding the footprint of the home. We're getting closer toward the property. It's not living space, but it's certainly an expansion of that footprint. So if the board was in a position to allow for that tonight and not for the garage, I don't see what the difference between the two is, and I guess I would ask for an explanation as to what the difference between the two is.
Sure. Nope. So I would only say that we could ask for an expansion of the explanation from the zoning administrator, but I would dare say it may have to do with the accessory structure as opposed to the principal structure. I could be totally wrong. I'm just taking an opinion on that one. And without counsel here, I couldn't tell you. I know from the way it was sent back to us, the only thing on the agenda for us to discuss or vote on is the porch, but you more than certainly, if we pass that, would be well within your rights to ask.
And again, if the board is considering that, certainly, again, we'll take what we can get. But to me, and I've only been doing this for 30 years, something doesn't add up.
Sure.
That's simple. It seems we're being allowed one and not being allowed another. And the code and I've gone over that section of the code numerous times. It doesn't say anything about primary structure, accessory structure. It just says any structure. Any nonconformity cannot be expanded.
Okay.
But again, I don't want to put my client in jeopardy if this board is willing to move ahead on this porch tonight.
I can only say, and this will be open discussion here for just a few minutes only because it's only on the agenda for the porch, that we'll move forward on the porch. If it passes, I would agree that you would be within your right to ask, how does the porch pass and not the garage? And, you know, between the zoning administrator and council, they may be able to give you an answer as to why or why not, or allow you to petition the board again on the garage.
I mean, I can make that, I can, it doesn't have to be the board, I can certainly make that request in writing, and then, because I can request a response in writing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. I mean, if it wasn't for, it's very clear that it's on the agenda just for the porch, and that it is appeared to been agreed upon, at least at the moment, that the garage has understood the code saying that it couldn't be built. But, you know, as to speaking to saying we would approve the porch and then revisit the garage, I can't do that.
I'm not going there.
Okay.
And I'm not going there again, I just asked a question. I mean,
Sure.
It is still the intent of the applicant to reconstruct that garage in the footprint that it is, because it's not in,
Sure.
it's not in not good shape.
Sure.
But again,
And I would only advise that, you know, you go right back through the same process with the ZA and ask them to ask legal counsel to make sure they're clear on what they're saying.
right. Listen, our application included both.
Sure.
Somebody made a determination to just put us on for that one, that's fine.
Sure.
But, you know, I'll pursue that up at a later time.
Okay. So let me get us a little bit farther down the road on the porch here. Being that we had left the last hearing open for public comment, and I don't see anybody here, but being we've addressed the footage that we're looking for, is there anyone from the public that would like to address anything? Nope. So I make a motion that we close this section to public comment. Roll call vote.
Aye.
Linda?
Aye.
Phil, aye. Aye. All right. So now let's get to a board discussion. Real quick, if you, right off the bat, if you go down Road 55, which is really the whole area is pretty much pre-existing, non-conforming all over the place, but most everything is right on the road, well within closer distance than what you're asking for. You have a huge border to the left side where you're asking for relief of trees from your neighbor. Your neighbor hasn't come forward to say that they don't like it. The other side that I usually look at as if it's a nuisance or a problem is the road. There's never a nuisance to a neighbor to the roadside, and there's not a visibility problem because you're not close enough to it. So with that being said, let's just make sure the numbers are correct. The map shows 26.9 actual and 13.1 for relief to the side yard. Does that sound right? I have it on your map from last.
Right, so we're looking for, is the board going to provide for a vote on pre-existing non-conformity of this existing structure, just to clean all of that up?
Yeah, so the town codes that they're reading within on the variance for the front porch didn't go into a non-conforming structure. It's going into a new structure in a non-conforming spot, right? And I understand your point that it's added on to the house.
So what we're doing is we're coming out with a porch.
Yes.
And because the house is not parallel to the side property lines, it does get a hair scotch closer to the side lot line.
Right.
Looking at the house on the left-hand side. So is that what you're asking?
Yes, yes. I just want to make sure our numbers are correct.
Should be 13.1.
Is what he needs, yeah.
So we have 27.9 now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now we're at
26, 20,
Okay.
25, it says, 26.
All right, because this map shows 26.9. So you'll have 26 where you're proposing to build the porch. The closest point will be 26.9? Yes, okay. So this is correct then. Okay. So, and then to the front yard, You have 43.7, and you'd be looking for relief for the other 56.3. Thank you very much.
This is the closest corner to the front. Right now, you have 49.6.
Yeah.
And we're proposing 43.7.
Right, to the, yes,
So we
absolutely.
need a variance of
Yep, 56, yes. Okay, so we got the right number. All right. That being said, you're staying within the framework of the house. It's not extending out past the house. It doesn't appear to be intrusive to the neighbors or sight line on the road. It's within, as far as I'm concerned, within the neighborhood makeup. Although those first two homes are kind of on their own out there, and everything gets a little more denser as you go towards Paul. But is there any other board questions that you have?
Okay, I had one.
Sure.
I know we're not doing that, but the garage, you just wanted to extend it out or out this way? You wanted to extend it lengthwise or widthwise?
Just back.
Well, did you ever think of maybe extending it forward?
That wasn't the problem.
What?
That wasn't the back setback. On the back. Mine wasn't the setback on the back.
No, what they're saying is, well,
Instead of doing it back, because it's near 55, it's not, but maybe that would be an easier.
right, so this is a good point. Sure. Well,
They appeal it.
we're proposing to add, I forget, was it 6 feet you were originally on the garage adding?
I'm just trying to make it easier.
So the que-
18 now.
So the question is instead of extending it out 10 feet to the rear, could we possibly extend it 10 foot closer to the road? Now, I know you have doors there and stuff like that.
It was just a thought.
But could that be done?
I'm not,
I mean, it will still have to go through the
Process.
process, but it was just a thought.
No, it's good.
it's only 18 feet deep. So,
No, I know, I'm just saying,
you can't say anything. If I go forward, I was just trying to stay back.
I'm just
So you didn't
trying to
get
put
involved.
another idea out there.
No, that's a good point but does that?
Because you got your
change
septic
anything in
over
terms
here,
of
you're near 55, so maybe the appeals, maybe if you said something,
No, I think it's a great
they
point.
would look at it a different way.
So I was even in the back of the house.
My understanding is that the difference between the two structures is that the primary structure, what you're proposing there with the porch, is just, extending the primary structure, which is under a different section
Under a
of the
different
code
code, yeah.
than
applies to the
enlarging an accessory structure. That's my understanding of what the difference is
Yeah.
of
And it's
why
also,
the ZA considered it differently.
Okay,
Just
that would make sense.
Yeah.
It's just that one section of the code, to me, I don't recall it provides any determination whether it's accessory or primary.
there's a section of code that covers the primary structure and another that covers accessory structures.
Okay.
So
When I make
consider
that
that
request,
not living space. It's like it's like a patio.
All right, so not to get
Okay,
off
sorry,
topic.
we had
No,
that question.
that's fine. Listen, I'm glad, we're asking and talking. But is there any other questions concerning the porch and the side yard and front yard setback? While we have this
No.
topic here. Chris?
no, so we're going to consider two variances.
Yes,
The
side yard and front yard to the
and
porch,
front.
to the same. Okay, so, concerning the application,
I would just say from visiting the site that from my perspective, what was there now was kind of, what was left of
1950
the steps
Oh, yeah.
that are really
Yeah.
broken down.
Yeah, they're-
So I think a porch would be a
Yes.
good restoration.
neighborhood, it would help everybody.
For the neighborhood.
absolutely.
Aesthetics.
Yes, agreed. All right. That being said, I'd like to make a motion that we would give the relief being sought of side yard and front yard to to the property on 426 Old Route 55, grid number 685800128494, where we are looking for relief. Proposed is 43.7, requesting a variance for the remaining 56.3. And the side yard requires 40. The applicant has 26.9 and is requesting variance for 13.1. I am making motion to approve that. If I have a second. Roll call vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, so we got the porch done. I appreciate you guys coming back very much. I know it's trying, and last month was really trying, but I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate the board moving forward, at least on that tonight. So we'll
It would look,
gather up.
it would aesthetically look nice for the house and even for the neighborhood. So you need some steps there to get into that house. So whether you make it 1 foot, 2 foot, it's just a means of egress.
And I understand, I appreciate that, and I know that played into the board's decision. But again, at the end of the day, I don't have that section of code in front of me, but we're going to review that because
And the ZA can help clarify.
I don't remember picking up the issue between the accessory and so forth, but we'll check that out.
Sure.
We may see you again, so.
Very much appreciated.
All right.
Thank you, guys. That being said, I'd like to make a motion to close today's hearing.
Second.
Can I have a roll call vote? Linda?
Aye.
Maria?
Aye.
Phil? Yep. Chris?
Okay, I have,
Thank you very much, guys.
this is, okay, can I just ask?
Yes, absolutely.